Reese's peanut butter cups are the greatest, but let me play devil's advocate here. Let's see. So, no, that's a good thing. That's definitely not a problem. Reese's, you did it. You stumped this charming devil.
Fear is the virus is trending on TikTok. Vaccines are poison. Then your yoga teacher says that sex-trafficked children are being sacrificed by satanic liberals, but it's all okay. The Great Awakening is coming. What is happening? Every week on Conspirituality Podcast, we explore the fever dreams that suck friends, family, and wellness gurus down the right-wing cult spiral in a search for salvation.
So what's the deal with top 10 lists? That's an homage to my second favorite comedian, Jerry Seinfeld, because my first favorite is right here, right now, Gianmarco Soresi. Gianmarco, how are you?
Good. I'm so honored to beat Seinfeld at such a young age. I feel good.
Well, there's still time to screw it up. But for now, the ranking, you're number one.
I see Seinfeld a lot in the city. He always drops in. You know, he's not part of the regular lineup. And whenever I see Seinfeld on stage, I'm like, oh boy, I'm not going to go up till like 3 more hours now. Oh my God, what a nightmare.
Have you ever met him?
Yeah, I've brought him on stage a couple times. And I don't know, I said to him, I have to introduce him. I say, what would you like me to say? And he was like, say whatever. And I was like, okay, I was just trying to be polite. I'll bring you up to B movie. If you're going to leave it to me, that's what I'm starting with. This next guy is a B. This is the voice behind the B.
How come he's never done more of that? How come B movie is like the one thing he's ever done?
He has, I think last I checked, he had $880 million.
Well, there's that.
So he might be like, why? Why would I pretend to be a bee for $1 million more? Who cares?
There's other bugs in the animal kingdom that are ripe for the taking. There's the praying mantis market, hasn't really been tapped yet.
Sure.
All kinds of things. But yeah, so for anyone new here, this is the Tennis Podcast. My name is Nick. I'm your host. Every week on this show, me and my rotating panel of guest sidekick hosts discuss top 10-ish lists on a random topic, along with fun facts, trivia, and of course, hot takes. My guest sidekick host is the aforementioned Gianmarco Soresi, a New York-based stand-up comedian and actor. He's also the host of his own podcast called The Downside. Gianmarco, no surprise to you, but you are taking the world by storm recently. Stand-up has been featured on Comedy Central, The Late Late Show with James Corden, Bonding on Netflix, Real Housewives of New York, somehow. And he was also the winner of Amazon's Comics Watching Comics Season 8. And you have a show tonight.
I have a show tonight, and I'm in San Diego right now. It's very nice.
Yeah. Do you ever get nervous? Like, right now, how do you feel? Do you feel good?
Oh, I'm fine.
Is it, like, weighing on you?
No. You do it so many times. The bar raises for what makes you nervous. So tonight's easy. People coming in San Diego, they're coming. They like me. They like me already. It would be the worst. They're really the worst. I don't know. It's fine. It's a small room. Do you care if it's like big? There's like 500 people. I think it's a 50-seat room. So you could tell people, ooh, I sold out. And no one asked, was it 3 chairs? Yeah. The fourth was dying to get in. So I feel a little anxiety kind of right before I go up. I don't like the part where you get to the comedy club and you got to wait. Sometimes I fantasize that I stay in my hotel and I go right when I'm going up. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the dream. To just someone be like, hey, you're on.
But you can't risk that.
You can't risk that. No.
You can't
They
do
won't
it.
let that.
Yeah. Unprofessional. Well, but probably not the anxiety you felt before coming on the podcast today, though, right?
Today was tough. I didn't sleep all night. I had to have a couple beers this morning just to soothe my nerves. I feel loose.
You look loose.
So we'll see. I'm shaking under this laptop screen. You can see it. So
I can. Well, you say you're a comedian. I guess we'll find out during the show just how funny you really are. Well, Gianmarco, this is a show about top 10-ish lists you may have heard. You've kind of rubbed elbows with a few celebrities here and there. We talked about Jerry Seinfeld earlier.
Sure.
Listener of the show.
I've J-Lo. We've rubbed thighs.
Is that right?
We were in Hustlers. We were crammed into a little bar, and she's trying to seduce me so she can drug me and rob me.
Of course.
I say, oh, no, I have an early morning. And that was it. That was it.
You're like George in Seinfeld when she invites him upstairs for coffee, and coffee keeps him up. You did it with J-Lo, though, which is the key difference.
I would have loved it if I tried to get a bigger part in the movie. I was like, actually, I will have this drink with you. And they'd be like, cut. No, we're not expanding your part right now.
But there's always the next J-Lo movie, or the Gianmarco movie that J-Lo is in. Right?
Exactly. I feel like that's soon. That's on the horizon.
Yeah. After your insect voice movie that you do, right?
That's the dream.
Well, man, I asked you about celebrities because we're going to talk about them today. We're going to get you blacklisted in Hollywood because you're going to talk about the most trustworthy celebrities in Hollywood today.
Okay, I feel good.
What does it mean to be a trustworthy celebrity? What's a famous person that you feel like you would tell your secrets to or let babysit your kids? These aren't the people who'd ever end up on a celebrity scandal list or be accused of a horrible crime. They're the celebrities and famous folks that audiences and fans see as honest, good people who happen to be ridiculously famous. So I'm taking this from a November 2022 poll on the website Ranker, and they asked their readers to vote on the most trustworthy celebrities. And with over 1 million votes worldwide, this is the top 10. So these aren't the top 10 according to me. These are the top 10 according to the world.
What year did you say it was?
November 2022.
2022. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like if this had come from like 4 years ago or something, Bill Cosby would have been in the top 5 of this list.
Right?
Like I absolutely think that, which goes to show how, you don't know. You don't know anyone on this list.
That's right.
If I'm wrong about number 1, I'm going to feel insecure about the rest. But if I'm right about number 1, then I think I'm going to do well.
Number 1 is not who I thought number 1 would be.
Okay.
We'll see how, you mentioned Bill Cosby, it's interesting because we'll see how well this episode ages, right? 2 years after we do this list, the number 1 on the list is going to make Bill Cosby look like Mr. Rogers.
Oh my God, what would they have to do to make Bill Cosby look like Mr. Rogers? Dude, oh my God, it would have to be multiple countries of crimes. I can't even imagine Bill Cosby being like, ugh, this guy is such an ass.
He's the next like Holocaust architect or something. Like you don't know.
Christ.
Right.
That's horrifying. But like a Me Too Holocaust architect.
Oh no. That's bad.
Oh God, that is really brutal. Okay.
Let's start by, I'm going to throw out a few celebrities that probably aren't on the list, but see if you have anything good to say about them, all right? Do you think Rosie O'Donnell is anywhere near the top 10 most trustworthy celebrities?
I like Rosie. I think Rosie, as someone in her later years, like hasn't...
Wow. Whoa.
What?
That's rude.
Oh.
She could be listening, and you're calling her old.
I saw her on the news the other day. She was grayer than all 50 Shades of Grey combined. But then again, so I saw her literally the other day. She was talking about how Ellen never invited her on her show. And I guess, me neither. I think that is a little bit indicative of someone who likes to get a little gossipy, get a little press from a little feud.
Yeah.
So I would have said trustworthy, but I saw that clip yesterday. So I wouldn't tell her all my secrets.
Right. Because when you're going through this list today, you got to think, would I tell this person my deepest, darkest secrets and fantasies, right? And Rosie O'Donnell doesn't meet that bar for me, personally.
Sure. She likes musical theater, so I could see us connecting on that. But no, not fully. Not fully.
What about Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage. I think I would tell Nicolas Cage my secrets because I don't think he'd be paying attention. I don't think he would be able to recollect them for anyone else. He'd be like in a moment, he'd be like, wow, that's so crazy. I can't believe you just told me that. And then he'd completely move on to something else.
Right. When you told him that, he's already been awake for 36 hours.
Yeah.
And just coming off a Vegas run, right?
He'd be like, I got a secret too. The government has hidden a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence. And you go, oh, Nick, oh no, okay. Let's say action. Let's get this on camera at least.
I like that movie. I'm sorry. I liked it. but I haven't watched it since I was a kid, so maybe it doesn't hold up. But
sure.
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson, of all these people we've talked about so far, I like Jack. I think he's a savvy guy. There's no way Jack Nicholson doesn't have some dark secrets.
Oh, he's seen some shit for sure.
There was some rumor that, I'm sure, who knows, that him, Marlon Brando, and Richard Pryor had all hooked up once or something. There was some crossover hooking up.
You mean like an orgy, like a sexually?
Maybe
you're
like an
talking about.
orgy, or maybe someone told me Richard Pryor hooked up with both these people. I mean, Marlon Brando was beautiful. I think Marlon Brando is kind of like, he'd be the one that you'd, even if you were straight, you'd give it a shot for.
Sure. That's me with Idris Elba.
Really?
Just throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Listen, good-looking guy. It's a good-looking guy. Honestly, when he was in The Wire, he was still too good-looking then. Like, there was a degree of like, sometimes these actors are so good-looking. I think I heard another comedian do this bit, but I had the same thought. Halle Berry, when she did Monsters Ball, she's very poor in Monsters Ball, and part of it's like, oh, you should be a model because you are the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life. That could solve your problems. That's how I feel with Idris Elba. Whenever he's like got a tough job, I'm like, you should maybe be a model. And you could, quit the drug game, The Wire.
Yeah.
Just go be a model.
That's pretty much every Brad Pitt role as well. But there's some people that are just too good looking. It's just
everyone good looking in movies is good looking. It's not smart. Even movies, like, there's no reason everyone should be like fuckable in Schindler's List.
Thank you.
But if you've ever seen it, I mean, they are.
Thank you.
They are. It's
you're right.
Scary.
Starting at the top.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more celebrity I'll throw at you, and then you can start guessing. Would you ever tell your deepest, darkest secrets to Donald Trump?
No way. It is astounding. The people who still trust Trump at that higher level.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it's good, but I understand, like, associating with him to, like, succeed power-wise. But the people like the Michael Cohens or, I mean, he will throw anyone under the bus. And that's what's amazing. My dream, if Trump would throw Ivanka under the bus and reveal some secrets
God, I wish.
about Ivanka, some I would love that. I would love that so much. But that might be the
Ivanka's,
one, the one he attracted to. The one he always says weird things about.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's already admitted he'd fuck her like on live TV. I think he even said that when he was running for president. And he's still...
Yeah, he said, if she wasn't my daughter, oh my God, the things I'd do to her.
Fuck, Jesus Christ. Every time I hear it, it's so unbelievable. But yeah, he did say that.
He did.
Gianmarco, I'm wondering what you will say, because I'd like you to throw out some guesses for who you think people around the world say is the most trustworthy celebrity.
All right. I feel like Tom Hanks has got to be on that list.
He's here. Is that who you thought was number one?
Yeah, but I can tell that it is not.
It is not.
But yeah, he's America's dad. I mean, Bill Cosby was known as America's dad, and I feel like Tom Hanks has taken that mantle pretty easily.
Yeah, and I was about to say, but I can't imagine Tom Hanks ever doing a mean thing to anyone ever. But people would have said that about Bill Cosby, right?
Sure. You can't be that successful and not piss off a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks has definitely dropped out of some movie and ruined a producer's life. There's no way it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sweet, but again, I think it's he plays a lot of good roles. That doesn't mean he did the good thing.
Yeah.
He might have played Sully. He didn't save a plane full of people.
That we know of.
And to a certain degree, like, he was in Elvis, and he played like a bad guy in Elvis. But he said, okay, if I'm going to play a bad guy, put a lot of makeup on me so that people understand this is a character. And then when I'm the hero pilot, no makeup at all.
Yeah.
Let them think I did it. Let them think Tom saved the plane.
Is this your own interpretation, or is that a fact that came out that he required the makeup?
Oh, no, I just think that's what he does. I think there's some people that are like, when I play a bad guy, let them know it's a character. Yeah. But when I'm a good guy, this is me. This is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some people are mad at Tom Hanks, especially he wore that quite a big fat suit for Elvis, which I know some people are not. I think is kind of unfair. That you get to play fat. A fat person can't wear a skinny suit in a way. I don't think that's fully fair to do as an actor these days.
If a skinny suit ever comes out, though, that'd be huge. That's a game changer in Hollywood, right?
It wouldn't be huge at all. It would be quite compact, I would think. But
thank you.
No, I'm sure that would be. I mean, they do have a skinny suit. It's called Spanx, but it can't make you play. It's a completely different thing. Maybe it makes you a little slimmer.
No. You couldn't put super bad era Jonah Hill into that and pass him off as like the machinist that Christian Bale played.
Sure,
right?
sure. I'm sure Jonah Hill would love to be the fat counter to the machinist. But yeah.
But he looks great now.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very healthy now. Yeah. Well, for each of these celebrities, I'm going to tell you 2 or 3 good things I learned about them. Pulled this from Wikipedia to try to convince you that this is a trustworthy person. So, Tom Hanks is number 6 on this list. He's 66 years old. He is one of the most popular and recognizable film stars worldwide. He's regarded as an American cultural icon, America's dad, like you said. He has donated to many Democratic politicians, and during the 2008 U.S. presidential election, he uploaded a video to his MySpace account endorsing Barack Obama. I just thought it was cute that he did that on MySpace.
MySpace, I can't believe. I guess that was back in MySpace.
Yeah, 2008.
Wild.
But in 2004, good guy Tom Hanks, he was touring the White House, and he learned that the press corps did not have a coffee pot, and shortly thereafter, he donated an espresso machine. And in fact, I've learned that he has continually donated espresso machines over the years when the old one starts to, give up the ghost.
2 things about that. First, when you said that, I thought you were about to say, but when they didn't have a coffee pot, he broke a table in half. He was so pissed off. But here's the thing that I think is tough. When people are that rich, it's like, okay, he got them a coffee pot. This is what Tom Hanks has to do to get someone a coffee pot. He turns his assistant, hey, buy him a coffee pot once a year forever. That'll be a cool thing people say about me. That's all he has to do.
Wow.
He's not going online. What's a nice coffee pot for the White House? He doesn't care about the money. So there's a degree.
Yeah.
When you get rich, you really can fool people into thinking you're generous with minimal amount of effort. You could tip one waiter $100 and people go, whoa, but they don't realize you made $100 in the amount of time that you took to sign that receipt. So that's all I'm saying.
You're not wrong, but how many coffee machines have you donated?
Sure. But for me, money-wise, him donating a coffee pot is the equivalent of me flicking a cup of coffee just like off my fingers at someone. And there's just this degree that I will make this prediction for this list. I bet that all of them, except maybe 1 or 2, happen to be extremely wealthy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a problem because money does not make you more trustworthy. That's an insane way to think. But I'm sure everyone on this list is rich.
Yes, but there's a caveat, which we'll get to. Very rich. Let me tell you something not so great about Tom Hanks. Despite being a fan of the Oakland Raiders, when they were based in Oakland, he said he would boycott the NFL for 2 years if they moved to Vegas. That's all.
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, listen, again, we're talking trustworthy, we're talking good guys. Football, a lot of problems with football.
That's
Just
true.
gonna say it,
Concussions.
Tom. Concussions, all sorts of things. It's no good.
Yeah. So we're going to pin all that on Tom Hanks.
Yes,
I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that.
absolutely.
All right. My last thing on Tom Hanks is, would you trust Tom Hanks to amputate your zombie-bitten leg in an apocalypse?
Yeah, I would, but I would get nervous that, like, he only knows how to do it in, like, the movie way.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows how to make an axe or whatever, and he thinks he knows how to swing, but really that's when he gets, like, his stunt double to do it. So it actually turns out really bad.
But even if he gets his stunt double to do it, like even in the zombie apocalypse, if his stunt double happens to be nearby and can come over and finish the job for you, then what difference does it make?
Sure. I'm sure in the zombie apocalypse, Tom Hanks is somehow with his stunt double at the time, and they travel together.
We don't know.
I think in a zombie apocalypse, actors are going to be the first to die. For sure. We can't actually fight.
Except those actors that had the foresight to get some underground bunker somewhere with the world's elite.
Sure. And
Right.
I feel like Tom's probably in that category.
I think so too.
He's pretty rich.
I think as great and as trustworthy as Tom Hanks might be, he taking care of number 1, first of all, which is Mr. Tom Hanks. Hello, listener. It's time for a fresh break to tell you about our new partner, HelloFresh. HelloFresh takes the hassle out of mealtime this spring by delivering pre-portioned ingredients and easy-to-prepare recipes right to your door. Even better, you can skip the checkout lines because HelloFresh has dinner covered. No worries if you're not a pro in the kitchen. HelloFresh's foolproof recipes arrive pre-portioned and easy to prepare in just a few steps. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can. Even Dr. Buster, probably. HelloFresh's recipes are also fun to make. My kids love helping me bring these recipes to life in the kitchen. It's become a real bonding experience for us. Better yet, the recipes are so easy I know even my kids can't screw them up. Now it's time for you to experience HelloFresh for yourself. And just like the recipes, we're going to make it easy for you. Just go to hellofresh.com/tennish50 and use code tennish50 for 50% off, plus your first box ships free. Again, that's hellofresh.com/10ish50 and use the promo code tennish50 for 50% off and free shipping on your first box. Just check the show notes for a direct link, and you'll quickly see why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. I want to take a quick pause real quick to tell you about something I've started doing every day, and it's made a huge difference in my life. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens every single day. I take AG1 in the mornings. It's just 1 scoop in water. It tastes great. It helps me feel ready for the day, and it lets me know I'm covering my nutritional bases. It's hard for me to keep up with a supplement routine that comes with a bunch of different products, but AG1 makes that so much easier. AG1 is so powerful because it's so easy to fit into your lifestyle. It's been part of millions of mornings since 2010. It gives you increased energy, mood support, making it easy to live your best life. If you haven't heard, it's easy. It was designed with ease in mind so you can live healthier and better without having to do a lot. And that's my favorite thing. Feeling like I'm doing something without actually having to do pretty much anything. I just take a drink every morning. That's it. I'm always looking for life hacks like that, and that's why I've come to love and trust AG1 by Athletic Greens. So join me and feel better every day. Why wouldn't you? Athletic Greens is giving our listeners a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/tennish. That's athleticgreens.com/tennish. Check the show notes and you can click that link. You won't regret it. That's athleticgreens.com/tennish.
So, you open Google Chrome on your phone, you're hunting for a super rare first edition vinyl of a band you're obsessed with, when you're supposed to be working. But this site you tapped on seems pretty shady. And Daryl from IT just jumped up from his desk. Oh no, he's coming your way. It's a good thing built-in malware protection keeps you safe and sound. Not from Daryl though, sorry. There's no place like Chrome. Download Google Chrome on your phone.
Why don't you give me another guess? Who else is joining Tom Hanks on this list?
Again, I feel like leaning towards really famous people, like really famous.
They're all like that.
So I'm going to say Oprah.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm surprised she's not. No, she's actually not on here.
Okay.
I wonder if, like, at the height of her power, she probably would have been here, but she's kind of been out of the limelight lately.
I wonder if she'll ever... Yeah, okay. I'm going to keep thinking famous. Dalai Lama.
No.
Oh, my God.
There's a different Dolly on here.
No way. Dolly Parton?
Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton. Sure.
Number 7.
Sure.
Why not?
She seems great. She doesn't seem to, like, gossip.
You ever been in the same room with Dolly Parton?
No, but, like, she's a real kind of unique, famous person. She's just kind of humble and just, like, is somehow able to be humble and still become more and more famous. She's figured out the cheat code.
And rich.
I mean, she's really rich, too. I don't know if I'd go to her because she sings songs.
She does.
She writes these songs, and who knows, she gets a juicy secret. Like maybe Jolene, maybe Jolene wasn't someone who took her man. Maybe someone went to her and said like, oh, my guy, he's fucking this guy named Jolene. And she's like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I won't tell anybody. And Jolene.
But is it a problem if they don't know the source of the Jolene, right?
Yeah, that's a good argument.
Great singing, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I could do a Dolly Parton. I mean, again, she's busy. You never see Dolly Parton just in sweats.
No.
Walking. You never see Dolly without the tits out. That's always every time she's got like the thing, the bustier, right? That's what it's called. Bustier and a wig, I assume. So she doesn't have time to be talking about your secrets. She's busy.
But who among us haven't occasionally donned the bustier and the wig, right? Cast the first stone.
Listen, the bustiers are very, the old-fashioned where they put it up and it really just looks like you're the biggest boobs in the world. I don't know if I've ever put on a bustier. I mean, do people wear bustiers in general? Is it just Dolly Parton and like people in the Victorian era?
I'm wearing one right now.
You're wearing one right now. You're right.
Right now.
That looks good.
Thank you. You didn't notice until now, but it's there. I don't know where you go to buy that in reality.
I mean, a period costume store, a costume shop, some Shakespearean wear.
Right.
But yeah.
Shakespeare. It's funny you bring that up because he will come up again later.
Oh my.
Not that Shakespeare's trustworthy. He's long fucking dead, but
He's going to come up somehow related to this list?
yes, sir.
Oof. That is.
But let me tell you.
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to tell you about Dolly real quick. So she's a country music legend. I'm not a country music guy, but I hear about her often. Did you know that she was born, she's 77 years old. She was born in a one-room cabin in Tennessee, and she's the fourth of 12 children.
That's
Why are people having 12 kids in the 1900s?
because well, look up how many of them lived past 2, and you'll see why.
Well,
Dolly ended up being an only child after a couple years.
and no one thought to ask where Dolly was during the deaths of all the other 11.
Yeah.
So you mentioned her boobies.
I did.
She is known for having undergone considerable plastic surgery. She has repeatedly joked about this, saying it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. If I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'll get it nipped, tucked, or sucked.
Wow. She's got so much surgery, she had time to come up with a full Dr. Seuss book about the procedures. Say that one more time. That was really beautiful.
It was, yeah. It was, if I see something sagging, bagging, or dragging, I'll get it nipped, tucked, or sucked.
Oh, the places you'll get plastic surgery.
And I think sucked is a bad word there because that has multiple meanings for when you see something sagging, bagging, or dragging.
That's true.
Right?
I just would love if somehow that came into Green Eggs and Ham and Sam I Am. Sam said, okay, would you eat them if I wasn't sagging, bagging, and dragging? Because I'll get it nipped, tucked, and
nipped,
sucked.
tucked, and sucked. Well, when you put it that way, Sam.
She needs to write a song with these lyrics. Just the plastic surgery song. Plastic surgery, it's amazing because I think she's done it pretty well. If I recall the last time I saw Dolly Parton, she looks like, things are up. But generally, for 77, she was great.
She does, yeah.
It's so hard to tell because I feel like we only know when people get plastic surgery when it looks bad. And so we don't know what good plastic surgery can look like. So it's hard to know. Do you think you'll ever get plastic surgery? Anything slight?
No. Do you?
No. I could see like this lightest skin pulling someday on the face.
Wow.
But
Very
no.
vain. I didn't expect this from you.
I do have a deviated septum, which is usually the excuse people get when they get a nose job. I wouldn't want a different nose. I wouldn't weird people out. But I would like to get this deviated septum fixed so I could breathe out my right nostril.
Well, I think when they're under the hood, fixing your deviated septum, you might as well just get a whole new nose while you're at it.
Yeah, sure. I really do think if I had a different universe, if I could go back in time, I would like to see if I had a slightly smaller nose, if I would have been more famous. If I had a slightly different nose, would I be on this list? We'll never know. We'll never know.
Your nose size may or may not have a direct correlation to your level of fame, but I would not say that has a direct correlation to your level of trustworthiness. Right?
That's true. Who knows? The world can be, I have a Jewish nose, and the world can be anti-Semitic. And if this is an international poll, it could affect it. It could affect it, unfortunately.
I don't think there's any Jewish people on here.
I would say that. I would be surprised if George Soros was on the list.
No. But where's Jerry? Jerry could have been on here, right?
Jerry likes to talk. Jerry's gossiping.
No. Well, would you trust Dolly Parton to care for you if you fell ill?
Oh, yeah. Again, could be an illusion, but she seems like she's can be sweet.
Motherly.
And motherly. I don't know if that's just because of the boobs. Okay. My mom has fake boobs.
Oh, baby.
My dad bought them for her. Isn't that nice?
That must be pre-divorce, I assume.
Yes. That'd be a nice parting gift. Like, hey, here's a little boost up. Get back out there. But no, I don't know when she got them.
And how are they? They look good?
Yeah, man. My mom's tits.
The best.
A+. I think it can be weird, though. I mean, fake tits, obviously, you get to a certain age where you got to let them sag a little.
Right.
Or it just looks weird. It's like if they put like a really fancy bidet on an outhouse. It's going to feel like, wow, one part of this is really modern and the rest is filthy.
I think the bidets they used in the outhouses back in the old days is just a guy down there, like sticking his tongue up, right?
Oh
or
my
spitting.
God. That is, he's just spitting. God, a tongue? That is a horrifying image.
Well, they didn't have the technology, you understand, Gianmarco, to have like an electronic bidets, so they had to use the resources they did.
Oh my God.
Which is the poor guy of the town.
That's the work, where it's like back in my day, we had to walk 15 miles to school. Grandpa, that's nothing. Oh, really? Well, get this. Back in my day, instead of a bidet, you had to lick the asshole of your friend and be like, Grandpa, you went through so much. Let's put you in a nicer home.
Let's put you in a nicer home. I guarantee you that's happened somewhere in the history of the world. A human bidet.
Oh God.
Well, there's some human bidets on this list, I think. Give me another guess for a trustworthy human bidet
That's
celebrity.
a tough clue. There's some human bidets on this list. Okay, the Shakespeare thing's not coming to me, so I'll have to circle back to that. The Queen is dead.
You want me to give you a hint?
Let me just see. Someone big and international. I mean, I think it's kind of like nauseating, but Obama?
I think it's too divisive, right? Because
Sure.
half the world, or half the country at least, hates Obama. He's not on the list.
Okay. Big. I'm trying to think international sensation. Bono?
No. Dolly Parton is the only musician on this list.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right, give me a hint.
Let's go with the Shakespeare guy. So this guy is actually known. He's best known for probably the biggest villain in Hollywood history.
The biggest villain in Hollywood history.
Biggest character in Hollywood history.
Anthony Hopkins?
No. It's a very specific character in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh, really? James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones is number 8. Weird, right?
Yeah, it makes sense, but that's people being tricked by the voice.
The voice.
Again, human beings are so stupid.
Stupid?
The idea that like someone's like, hello. I mean, I can't do impressions, but he goes, hello. And you're like, wow, you seem trustworthy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
By the way, you can't do impressions, so I guess you're not that great a comedian.
That's true. That is it. Listen, if I wish every time I had a joke bomb, I could be like, I'm James Earl Jones. And people go, whoa.
I love it, yeah. Okay, let me tell you about the Shakespeare tie-in. It's because, so real quick, taking a step back. For those listening, James Earl Jones, he's number 8. He's 92 years old. He's best known as the voice of Darth Vader. He's also Mufasa in Lion King. But he started on Broadway. And since the 50s, he's performed several Shakespeare plays. And he was actually invited by incorrectly guessed Barack Obama to perform Shakespeare at the White House for an evening of poetry in 2009.
Sounds like a pretty boring evening to me.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
I guess if you get James Earl Jones there, it'd be cool for like one sonnet. And then the next one, you're like, oh, please just say, I'm your father. Please just do Star Wars quotes.
Right. We don't want to hear you do Shakespeare, James. We want to hear you do Darth Vader. And also, like, just being at the White House, like in a tux, probably, like with a bunch of other rich white snobs that you don't know, like, no matter what the context is, it doesn't sound that fun.
Yeah.
So something interesting about James Earl Jones, he's so famous for his voice, but he actually, from the age of 5, he developed a stutter so severe that he refused to speak, and he was a mute all the way through high school. But he credits his English teacher who encouraged him to read his poetry at the front of the class for getting him to come out of his shell. A lot like you, I think, right?
Yes, exactly. I was very quiet. I am quiet to a degree in public. I love the idea of Darth Vader having a stutter. I think it would really change some of the classic lines we all know and love. And it would give him justification. I understand in this world, if you have a stutter, you might be like, you know what? I'm going to the dark side.
See, I was already there. I think he's already justified, but this is on top of it, right?
You watch the movie and you're rooting for the Death Star.
Sure.
You're like, come on, keep building.
Well, I mean, ever since I saw Luke, didn't he make out with his sister in the first movie? I don't know, Princess Leia.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Before they knew.
You can't blame anyone for that. Are they half sisters or they're half siblings?
They're half siblings, yeah.
So that's, it was only half as fun.
It's half okay.
It's half okay.
I'll give it half a pass. Would you trust James Earl Jones to water your plants for you while you're on vacation?
I think so. He seems like a guy who likes plants. He seems nice. He seems sweet. I'll give it to him.
He seems like he'd do a good job with that, yeah. Although he is 92. So, I mean, can we trust him to even make it long enough to get to the house on time to water the plants,
He just retired as Darth Vader, actually.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm not even going to... And that's a lot. Because I feel like James Earl Jones, probably he can go up to a mic and go, Luke, I am your father, and there's a new sale at McDonald's, and he'll get $10 million.
Yeah.
So he must be pretty beat.
There's someone else on this list known for their soothing voice.
I know, it's Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. He's number 3.
Now, that's very funny because, we were joking about, we said a horrible joke about, I believe the term we used was Me Too Holocaust, but
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was it was a little questionable in there. For a second, he got in a little bit of trouble. Nothing too bad. Not bad enough to not make the 10 most trustworthy people in the world. Pretty incredible.
Taking a step back, first of all, it wasn't we made a joke about the Holocaust. That was you.
No. You said the word Holocaust first.
Okay, that's true. I'll give you that.
You opened that door, and I said, well, comedian, I got to raise the stakes.
You got to go in
And
there. I understand. You're right. Yeah. We don't think the Holocaust is funny at all. We would never do jokes in our stand-up routine about the Holocaust either.
Well, I'm Jewish, so I've quite a lot. It's most of my act.
I am not, so I have no excuse to even bring up the Holocaust. You had that bit about the waiter. You asked him for a free beer, and he told you...
Yeah, he was German, and he apologized to me for the Holocaust, which was an actual thing that happened to me. And, I didn't know...
that was a true story.
Oh, yeah, and it's like, what do you say? I'm sorry for the Holocaust. No worries. Don't let it happen again.
Right.
I asked him, I said, can I get a free beer? And he was like, yeah, I would, but my boss would get mad. I was like, don't worry, I get it. You're just following orders.
Right.
So...
Beautiful. That's one of my favorites of yours, but I'm out of the loop on the Morgan Freeman Holocaust thing. Fill me in.
Oh, not Holocaust. Yeah, there was, listen, I don't know if he was cleared or there was just some people talking about some inappropriate behavior at some point. I'd like to work with him.
Oh.
So who knows what happens? It's all a wash. But he seems to be working.
Yeah.
One day I know we're not far with the new AI technology, but I know someday if I ever book a movie role, Morgan Freeman's people will be able to put in like my name and his name, and it'll be able to listen to every podcast, and it'll be like, oh, we said this on March 3rd, 2023.
Right.
And Morgan will be like, get him the fuck out of my movie. That's my Morgan Freeman.
You really can't do impressions. But I said at the top, I gave you fair warning. We're going to get you blackballed in Hollywood.
Yes.
So that's okay, but we're already here. Morgan Freeman, he probably doesn't got long anyway. He's 85.
That's why old people are on the list. They're like, they're going to be dead any day now. We can trust them.
Yeah. But he's far from the oldest on the list.
Ooh, hints.
Interesting, yeah. He has some interesting quotes. I got to read this to you. In 2005, he criticized the celebration of Black History Month. Morgan Freeman, of course, is a black actor. He said, I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. He opined that the only way to end racism is to stop talking about it, and he noted there is no White History Month. So...
Great.
Well, pretty heavy, but
Nick,
yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on Black History Month. You think we should get rid of it?
I've already lectured on this so many times. I did a TED Talk on it, so I really don't want to rehash it. But what do you think?
What do I think? I think every month is Black History Month, and it's great to celebrate it.
Thank you.
And, Morgan, that's an interesting point. Interesting point.
Interesting point. I agree.
We have to get better at, answering those questions with, it's all very interesting. A lot of points of views.
Yeah.
I'm just here to listen. I'm just here to listen.
I did not bring up that quote because I had a specific point on it. I just thought it was an interesting take, truly.
Think about that interview. I don't know if the interviewer was white, but
no idea.
What are you going to go? You're going to go,
Yeah. It's a lot like your Holocaust joke with the German waiter. It's a lot like that. So, yeah, we're two white guys that are going to move on from that topic.
Yes.
But it was a very interesting quote. We can agree. So we're going to bring this back to...
If it was a white guy who said it, we go, that's a bad quote. That's a terrible point. Terrible point. Disagree with it entirely. Because Morgan Freeman, we're like, interesting. Interesting thing. What an interesting thing.
Interesting point. Yeah, worth consideration. Worth talking about.
Worth discussing.
Very poignant.
Poignant. Poignant.
The bees. I was saying we're going to go back to Jerry and the bees because... After learning about the decline of the honeybees, good guy Morgan Freeman decided to turn his 124-acre ranch, first of all, 124 acres, holy shit, but he turned that into a bee sanctuary. There's 26 beehives there, Gianmarco. How many beehives do you have on your acre ranch?
I don't know if we should be highlighting beehives. We don't have other insect months in the year. I'm trying to make a Morgan Freeman point.
You
Listen,
were almost there. Not quite, but almost.
it was a challenging thing to connect. Good for Morgan. Again, is he setting up these beehives himself? Morgan's got some good money. I think that's nice. But the equivalent of Morgan Freeman building 300 acres of beehives is the equivalent of me not killing a bee when it stings me.
Well.
So, in a way, we've all done this level of goodness.
So what you're saying is if you're rich, you're incapable of also being good and trustworthy. Is that right?
No, I just think you need to look at the numbers. Now, if Morgan Freeman had bought Rhode Island and turned the whole state of Rhode Island to a bee sanctuary, and he was broke and hungry and was begging for money because he spent it all saving the bees, I'd go, okay, not a bad guy.
But then all those people in Rhode Island are homeless now.
Sure. You make a good point. Maybe problematic for other ways. Depends what you prize more, bees or people. And I'm not sure at this point.
I know who I value more, but
Bees.
I've already told you how much I love Jerry and the bee in the Bee Movie.
Uh-huh.
Morgan Freeman's a guy of interesting quotes. Part of that is because he can't shut the fuck up. He's on every commercial and every interview ever. But when asked if he believed in God, Freeman said, "It's a hard question because I think we invented God. So if I believe in God, and I do, it's because I think I'm God."
Sometimes you can tell that someone's annoying just by the way they answer a question. Morgan could have just said no, but instead he had to redefine it in a crazy way.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever said, "Oh, do you believe in God? Do you mean Morgan Freeman?"
No.
No, that's not what they meant. Morgan, just answer the fucking question.
Yeah.
You know what? I take him off my trustworthy list. I don't even want to work with him.
Wow. Well, I feel like he was already off, but
I don't give a shit.
wow. He's number 3.
That's well, Morgan, do you enjoy cereal in the morning? Well, if by cereal you mean a steak and at night, once in a while. Shut the fuck up and answer the question that you know you were being asked.
How dare you speak to God that way, first of all? How dare you take that tone with God using Morgan Freeman's name in vain?
I want to play God in a movie, but portray him as someone with ADD, someone who really is a mess. And he's oh shit, I forgot about that. I'm gonna go stop that. I'm gonna stop that tsunami. Oh fuck, I forgot about this.
It must be what's going on because there are tsunamis. There are dead children from cancer.
Sure.
What's he doing? He's asleep at the wheel.
I was at yoga class and the yogi was I left my car in the Uber. Then the next Uber I called, it was the same car. My phone was there. The universe works in mysterious ways. And I'm wouldn't it be funny if the universe was on its way to end Russia's invasion of the Ukraine? And then this yogi left the phone and the universe fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right there. Let me go help her get her phone back. That's how I see God. It's one individual who is way overworked.
Well, and doesn't help that he keeps taking on those voice roles as well.
Absolutely.
Would you trust Morgan Freeman to pick up your mail for you while you're out of town?
I do think I would trust him. That's a nice thing to do. And I think he'd be willing to do at least that.
Okay, I think I'm there with you. I have some problems with Mr. Freeman, but mail, I'll let him get the mail.
Priceline presents Go to Your Happy Price. What's up? It's Kaylee Cuoco. When it comes to travel, we all have a happy place. You can see yourself already there. It's beautiful. It might be sunny and sandy for some, neon and urban for others, deserts or rainforests or hiking trails. With Priceline, you can get to your happy place for a happy price with deals you really can't find anywhere else. Like up to 60% off select hotels to Costa Rica or 5-star hotels for 2-star prices in Cabo. Go to Priceline.com and travel to your happy place for a happy price. All right, see ya. I'm off to Miami. No, actually, wow, look at that. No, I'm going to Hawaii now. Ooh, Cancun looks nice. You know what? Belize looks pretty nice this time of year. Or, Palm Springs.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So what's the deal with this interruption? Well, it's a very timely interruption. I talked to Gianmarco earlier about Jerry Seinfeld. I talk about Seinfeld all the time, so what better way than to give a quick plug for the newest Tennis Pod Plus exclusive bonus episode, me and my guest sidekick host Kalvin discuss the top 10 best Seinfeld episodes ever, according to IMDb. These are people around the world, Seinfeld fanatics, that have voted on the best episodes. We count down the top 10. You can listen to this episode right now on TennisPod Plus. If you're not already a member, signing up is easy, takes just a minute. Go to tennispod.com/plus, or if you're an Apple Podcast listener, tap the Try Free button on the top of our Apple page. You'll get a free 7-day trial. Membership also includes a bunch of other bonus episodes and ad-free access to main episodes like the one you're listening to now. Thank you for indulging me. Giddy up, you might say. Let's get back to the show. Before I give another hint, do you have any other guesses just off the top of your head?
Oh, God. I have a feeling that this list is probably heavily American, but what about the Pope?
No. These are all Hollywood celebrities.
Hollywood celebrities. Yeah, I figured.
There is someone here that's not from America.
Is Meryl Streep on there?
No, great guess.
God, Hollywood, famous, super famous actress. It's not Tom Cruise. It's not Meryl Streep. It's got to be Tom Hanks level famous.
Yep.
Give me a hint.
There's a few on here. Let's go with number 10, who I think is kind of a curveball. He's known for... So James Earl Jones was known for Star Wars. What's something else in that genre? Very big.
In stars?
Yeah, in stars. Space.
In the Star Wars space, you're saying?
Similar. Star Trek.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Leonard Nimoy is dead. Not the guy. The captain?
Captain, was that William Shatner?
Kirk. William Shatner.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not William Shatner.
No.
Star Trek.
I'm not a Trekkie, so
I'm not a Trekkie. I'm not a worry. I'm not any of these things.
No.
I have sex.
I think you are a worry, but not a worry.
I worry. Star Trek.
He's the only British guy on here.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. You don't trust him?
First of all, Patrick Stewart is a pretty big stoner. He's a pretty public.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. He gets stoned.
I don't really know much about him.
He gets stoned, and he's there with his young girlfriend or wife or whatever, and he's high off his ass. So, I don't think I'm going to trust a stoner. Once again, people have decided because he has, I've been talking about Shakespeare. He's a big Shakespearean guy. He is talking like this. And that's a better impression than the other two.
Marginally.
Which is good. I should probably be better at white impressions than Morgan Freeman and James Earl Jones. He talks like this. He's so didactic. That's pretty good. Give me a little break. That's not the worst impression.
Okay. No, you're right. It was not the worst impression. It was not the worst impression. I'll give you a break on that.
So, yeah, I wouldn't trust him.
He's 82 from England. He's obviously Captain Picard in Star Trek. He's also Professor X in X-Men. Now, he was knighted by the Queen in 2010. But big whoop, am I right?
Big whoop.
He is an atheist and a feminist. He has publicly advocated the right to assisted suicide. What are your thoughts on that?
Look at these liberals. First, they don't believe in God. Then they support equality for women. Now they want to help kill you. What do you know? What do you know? I knew it. I knew this would happen.
Yeah.
No, I think listen, if an 82-year-old tells you, listen, we need to help people end this shit, trust him. Trust him. Why do you think he's getting high so much? Because he's sore. He's sore. They keep making him pretend that he's piloting a spaceship. He's 82. Okay, put him in a pod and send it into the darkness, into the void. Yeah, he's done. So
he's done. Hot take.
Listen, it's a dark topic, but if someone really wants to kill themselves, I think you should try to ask a questionnaire. Be like, are you sure?
Okay, sure, questionnaire.
You got to be thorough about it. But it's once you hit over 80, you let them do it sight unseen. I think we come up with a cap. Yeah. You're under 60. You should have some follow-up questions. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let's wait 2 days. And then if you still want to, sure, we'll start the process.
Make sure they know, that their favorite show is starting a new season the next month, right?
Of
Make
course.
sure they're aware of all the cultural things they'll be missing. Right?
Exactly. But I think if you're, over 50 and you say, could I get some help? Boom. You do it right there. They don't even need to finish their sentence.
Why that? Because they don't appreciate life enough? Just take them out? Is that why?
No, because, you got to trust that there's enough pains and whatever that... and they have a good... If you've hit 50, you know what's left. You know what life entails. You can't say to someone 50, like, hey, maybe the last 30 are better. No, they're not. No, they're not. No chance.
This is a very dark segue, but there is someone on here that is dead from suicide on this list. I don't know why dead people are eligible for this list, but they are.
Crazy. Anthony Bourdain is on this list? Oh, it's not Anthony Bourdain?
No.
Then it's Robin Williams.
It's Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Who would you rather go to a stand-up for, Robin Williams or Jerry Seinfeld? Assuming Robin Williams was alive and still telling jokes and not just a casket on a stage.
If they put a casket on the stage, I would love to be there for that. I am more of a Seinfeld guy.
Same.
But I do think I would love to, again, I've seen him. So I'm like, okay, I've heard every take on cotton balls. I got all the what's the deals with of shoes. So I would like to see the force that was Robin Williams. It's not my cup of tea, but I would love to see him just like tear up a stage and move all around.
Yeah. Robin Williams is number 4. He died at age 63.
Just a quick note about why I wouldn't have him on this list. He was known for joke stealing sometimes.
I saw that in my research. Yeah.
There was apparently a comedy club where they had a special light in the back of the room to let the comedians on stage know that Robin Williams had walked into space.
You're fucking kidding.
Which, listen, if they install that, that's really serious. When Robin Williams, he was kind of confronted about it on Mark Maron on WTF. Robin Williams said it wasn't joke stealing, it was joke sampling. I think he called it. Joke sampling. And I was like, ugh, kill yourself.
Yeah. That didn't work at the grocery store when I told him I was candy bar sampling.
Exactly. I've done that joke on stage sometimes. People, kill yourself because he killed himself. People get offended by it. And I try to tell them, like, look, Robin Williams would have liked that joke, okay? He would have liked it so much, he would have done it on The Tonight Show without asking me for permission.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're talking to someone that will someday be as well-loved and beloved and trustworthy as Robin Williams, perhaps. So he's obviously super famous actor, comedian. You might know this already. It's not a big secret, but during the late 70s, early 80s, he had an addiction to cocaine. I'm going to pause for the gasps to finish in the audience. He was a casual friend of John Belushi, the SNL star. His death in 1982 from a drug overdose happened the morning after the two had partied together. Did you know that?
Wow. I knew that Robert De Niro was in the vicinity of that. I didn't know Robin Williams was there. There's something about Robin De Niro, like he was friends with John Belushi and got the call the next day. That's crazy. That cocaine,
it's a hell of a drug,
could have destroyed some franchises. Oh, what a bummer. And that was before cocaine had fentanyl in it. Like now, people die of cocaine because there was too much fentanyl. But like back then, I feel like to die from cocaine, you had to be asking for it. You were taking lines around all of 30 Rock post SNL, just massive lines.
Yeah. Mr. Williams, Robin Williams, said that was a wake-up call for him, and supposedly he stopped soon after that. So on the good guy side, he did team up with Whoopi Goldberg in the 80s and Billy Crystal to found Comic Relief USA. It's an annual HBO benefit devoted to the homeless, raised over $80 million as of 2014.
That's great. I'll support that one. I know I've been very contrary.
You've been true to your podcast, The Downside.
I have. I support that one because they could book me for a set someday, and I would want to be lauded as a hero for performing for free.
For free. Well, I think you're a hero right now.
Thank you.
Would you trust Robin Williams to marry you, divorce you, and then impersonate an old nanny in order to secretly spend time with your children?
I'd love for that to happen. I think it would be a very, very interesting.
It would.
I know I've met Mara Wilson a couple times. She was the little girl in that. Yeah. And, she seems great. She's doing great. So she seems to have enjoyed it. I think my kid would just have a nanny, really. I mean, because I imagine if they're in it just to spend time with the kids, I could probably pay them pretty little.
Right.
So
you've turned this all around to about you then?
Uh-huh.
Not about your children. It's about you.
No. Not at all.
Okay.
Just me.
Got it. So we got 3 more. Number 9 is a household name. He's in the same breath, I'd say, as Tom Hanks. I don't see people call him like the America's Dad or whatever, but he's definitely a super award-winning, well-respected actor. He's been around forever. 68 years old. He might be on the how do I say this? Earlier we talked about Morgan Freeman's quote about Black History Month. This person might have more to say about it than, that's interesting. Good take.
You cannot tell me that Mel Gibson is on this list.
No.
Oh, God. I was like,
No.
I don't want to hear Mel Gibson's thoughts on anything involving Black history or Jews or so many things.
No. Or anything.
Or anything, really.
Well, I meant that this person is more qualified than you and I to speak about Black History Month.
Okay.
Because he might also be...
Denzel,
you got it.
Denzel seems like a very just smart, like he's generous, but he's tough. Like he's funny, he's smart, he's witty, but he looks like someone like if you do something wrong, he's going to call it out.
Yeah.
And he's going to be forward. Like I feel like Denzel never had problem asking a woman out. Like he just seems like, he's like, hey, I'm Denzel. Like he's not someone who goes to his friend like, hey, could I run this email by you before I send it? Denzel sends it first draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that and one hell of an ass, too.
He does. Yeah. Denzel, I think that's, of a lot of people on this list, Denzel 100%.
I agree.
I feel like Denzel's still picking up friends from the airport, if they ask.
What the fuck? Because my question about would you trust Denzel to do such and such was, would you trust Denzel to get your mother to the airport on time?
Oh, that's funny. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Denzel, Denzel's someone, like I have jokes about some mean jokes about my mom. And I feel like Denzel would be in the audience shaking his head like, you don't talk about your mother that way. You don't talk about your mother that way.
You don't talk about someone with tits as great as that. Someone.
Yeah, tits as great as that, as my mother.
Well, Denzel, New York Times called him the greatest actor of the 21st century. I think he's in the conversation at least. He is a evangelical Christian, though, considered becoming a preacher. So that's a knock against him, but he has served as a national spokesman for Boys and Girls Club since '93. He's got the Medal the Medal of Freedom from Joe Biden in 2022. So all around good guy, seems like.
Yeah, Denzel, I respect immensely.
Yep. You just got 2 left. Number 5 is complete surprise to me. Like, yeah, he does seem like a nice guy, but I never hear about like his super great charitable efforts or anything like that. He's Australian.
Oh, this guy, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5.
I should have guessed that. I had thought about it.
What do you think about Hugh?
Hugh seems like a good guy. My grandma once told me I looked like a young Hugh Jackman, so we had to put her in a home. So it was sensitive for me. But again, there's just, I can't help but feel uncomfortable that people are like, wow, you're a famous actor. You must be trustworthy. We deserve all the times we go, oh my God, what? They're not the nicest? We deserve every ounce of pain from that because we're so stupid. We're just so
like the Bill
stupid.
Cosby thing you're saying. Like we deserve the pain we feel from being betrayed by Bill Cosby.
We deserve, we deserve. It shouldn't happen. You know, I'm not saying that's...
You're not saying those women should have been assaulted, just to be clear.
No, that's not what I'm saying, dear God. But why would we think Hugh Jackman's trustworthy? Because he's an X-Men? I mean, he's cool. He's talented.
Good-looking.
He's good-looking.
He's got the accent.
And
people like his movies. I mean, I think it's really that simple.
I don't trust Australians. I know a lot of Australians. I wouldn't trust them.
So you wouldn't trust Hugh Jackman to have your back in a fight against street thugs?
No, he's a movie star. Those muscles don't actually work. They're all for show. He can lift weights. But Hugh Jackman is not going to fuck up his face for me. No chance.
Well, maybe if he still had the claws on from, he just finished filming an X-Men movie or something,
Sure.
So this guy was raised Christian, but he said he doesn't identify as a Christian the same way his father does because he finds the evangelical church too restrictive.
Good. I love each celebrity. We're getting their religion for each and every one.
But he's also kind of a Satanist, I think, secretly, because he practices meditation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have someone in my family that told me that meditation is a gateway for the devil.
That's incredible, because the meditation is simply to breathe and focus on your thoughts. And if that's where the devil gets
Yeah, but
in,
your mind, you're opening your mind. He's getting in there because it's open now.
sure.
Your safeguards aren't up.
I would love to meet that family member. I'd love to interview them, have them on the show,
Okay.
and tell them they're like the top 10 sins, or the top 10 celebrities who are going to burn in hell. And he was
would be
number
up there.
one for meditating and doing musical theater.
Oh, that's right. He is a theater kid.
He is.
All right. Well, we have 2 left. We'll go through them quickly here. Number 2 is a lady, and she's also enjoying a nice long dirt nap at the moment.
Wow.
So to that, I say, how can we even trust her if she's 6 feet underground, right? How can I trust her to do anything?
You said a celebrity. It's not Queen Elizabeth, is it?
No.
God, dirt nap is such a brutal term for the end of our existence.
I didn't coin it. I just,
She's dead. Another hint.
she's been an actor. She was in acting for like 7 decades, it says here. She was one of the first women to work in front of and behind the camera. She had her own show in the 50s with her name in it. She was in...
Oh,
Dennis the
Lucille
Menace?
Ball?
No. Golden Girls?
Oh my God, Betty White.
Betty White.
Betty White, I mean, I watched the Golden Girls for the first time recently, and I was like,
Really?
God damn, she was old in this.
Yeah, right? That was in the 80s. Yeah.
If she was old in the old TV show, she made it far. She died at like 98, was it? 98?
99. It was like 2 weeks
99.
before her 100th birthday.
If I was like, on my deathbed 2 weeks before my 100th birthday, I think like, even though it's stupid and it's a horrible way to think about life, I would be like, Doc, keep me there. Put me under. Let's hit 100. Let's hit 100 so I can just be like, I hit a number.
Yeah.
I know I would be holding on for that.
You don't think they didn't try to keep her alive? You're acting like they just assisted suicide. Maybe Patrick Stewart was there. And he was
Patrick
like,
Stewart.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not letting this go on another day.
Yeah.
We're starting this dirt nap today, Betty.
I'm sure Betty White's fun and nice.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know anything about her. She seems funny, and funny people are not to be trusted because they will pick what's funny over what's good.
Yep. Just ask Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I have one anecdote about her. In 1954, she was already an adult at the Betty White Show. She became a national hit, but her show was criticized by many in southern states for having Arthur Duncan, a black tap dancer, on her variety show and asked her to remove him from the show. But she refused, saying he stays in the show, live with it.
That's great.
That's great.
That's a good thing.
I thought that was an indicator of the kind of person she might have been.
Yeah. I think that's a good sign.
Would you trust Betty White to pick out your funeral arrangements?
Yeah, I'm sure she'd make it a little classier than I'm into.
It's a low bar.
But I trust it. She seems like she knows how to like put herself together. So I imagine she could put and I'm at that age, she's seen so many funerals. She's got to have some
at
good
that age,
opinions.
she has the experience. She's
Yeah.
already been buried.
Exactly.
Like, she knows what goes into it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're just missing number 1. This guy, I think, belongs on the list, but not at number 1. He's kind of had a resurgence lately. He's a very memeable celebrity. Canadian.
Give me another hint. Canadian. Interesting.
He's 58 years old. He's starring in the 4th movie of a very popular action franchise, John Wick 4.
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. The most trustworthy celebrity in the world, according to the voters in this poll.
He seems like a nice guy. He seems really kind of obsessed with movies.
Well,
I could see him like not telling your secrets because he's just like thinking about movies all the time. He seems like a sweet guy. I don't know if I trust him to like remember things, remember to like go to the store or pick up my mom from the place. But yeah, I could see it.
He's very eccentric. He seems like someone that is not going to, yeah, I agree. What you just said. He's not going to remember what you told him, right?
Yeah.
His mind's elsewhere. Maybe being caught up by the devil during meditation.
Sure.
He's been described as Hollywood's ultimate introvert. He's been called a workaholic, charming, and excruciatingly shy. Excruciating.
Poor guy.
His casual persona and ability to establish rapport have been observed by the public, leading him to be dubbed the internet's boyfriend.
There you go.
If you were the internet's something, what would you be, Gianmarco?
Well, I'm certainly not the internet's comedian, as hard as I try to be.
No.
I would be the internet's...
Bidet? Human bidet?
Yes, that's it. I would be the internet's human bidet.
My last question is, would you trust Keanu Reeves to return your wallet if he found it on the street?
Yes, I do. I do think Keanu Reeves would return it, and if anyone got in the way, he would kill them all, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, very violently. Hey, Nick here. During this recording session, Gianmarco had to leave to get ready for his show, so we didn't have time to do this together, but I definitely did want to cover this before the episode ends, and that is some listener feedback. I asked my followers on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me at @TheNickAmel. Amel is EMEL. And I asked them, who do you think is the most trustworthy celebrity? Remember a few answers here, and some of these did not come up in the conversation with Gianmarco. Shelly on Instagram shared a few. David Attenborough, Tom Hanks, Julie Andrews. Those are all good choices. A few people, including Hwak on Instagram, mentioned Paul Rudd. Can't believe Paul didn't come up in the convo with Gianmarco. He belongs on there. Definitely more so than, Morgan Freeman. Lord Jason Kirby on Twitter shouted out, Danny DeVito! Yes, of fucking course. How is Danny DeVito not on this list? God damn, I'd trust that man with my life. Not to fight for me, though, because that wouldn't go well, but just my life in general. A lot of people mentioned Ryan Reynolds, including Irving on Twitter. Ryan Reynolds is, I think he's like, the way people view Tom Hanks now as kind of America's dad. I think in, 10 or 20 years when Ryan Reynolds is older, that'll be him. But he's a very trustworthy seeming celebrity. Bernadette from the Murderific podcast, past sidekick host on the show, she mentioned Pete Davidson, and God, oh God, I hope she was joking. Last one I'll read here is from our own Alex Johns, frequent sidekick host. He mentioned Dr. Buster, and I think Alex is even more of a comedian than Gianmarco with that answer, because that's hilarious. All right, thank you for giving feedback. If you want to get feedback like this on future episode topics, I do this all the time. Just follow me at TheNickAmel on Twitter and Instagram. All right, let's get back to the discussion with Gianmarco. All right, well, let's go back through the top 10. You got number 10, assisted suicide advocate Patrick Stewart. May have had something to do with Betty White's death. We don't know. Number 9, Denzel Washington. He's my number 1 on this list, I think. Number 8, James Earl Jones. Number 7, not the Dalai Lama, but Dolly Parton. Number 6, Tom Hanks. Number 5, Hugh Jackman. Number 4, Robin Williams. Number 3, God himself, Morgan Freeman. Number 2, Betty White. And number 1, Keanu Reeves. You did it.
I did it.
Before you have to go, definitely want to give you a chance to plug anything you have coming up.
Thank you. You can find everything about me online. It's my username is @Gianmarco Soresi. Listen to my podcast, The Downside, with Gianmarco Soresi.
And I'll put links to that in the show notes. Gianmarco is also very active in the comedian world. He's got a couple of shows tonight. He has shows all the time, so you should check out his website too for tour dates.
Hell yeah.
Gianmarco, anything else you want to say, man?
I'm good, and please follow me so someday I can be on this list for no good reason.
You need that nose job first.
I can afford it. Thank you.
Right. He's Gianmarco. He has been an excellent sidekick host. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Have you ever wondered why we call French fries French fries? Or why something is the greatest thing since sliced bread? There are answers to those questions. Everything Everywhere Daily is a podcast for curious people who want to learn more about the world around them. Every day, you'll learn something new about things you never knew you didn't know. Subjects include history, science, geography, mathematics, and culture. If you're a curious person and want to learn more about the world you live in, just subscribe to Everything Everywhere Daily wherever you cast your pod.
If you had the right information, could you create a better life? I'm Chris Stemp, the host of Smart People Podcast, one of the best podcasts you've probably never heard of. My producer John and I started the podcast 12 years ago when we got burnt out on corporate America and wanted to figure out a better way. We've asked top global experts, including Brené Brown, Simon Sinek, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and hundreds more, how to create a better life. With over 10 million downloads, this is one you don't want to miss. Subscribe and follow Smart People Podcast wherever you listen.